Welcome everybody to episode 4 of Me Think PodKast. Me and my lovely co-host and beautiful woman. I am DJ Garvin.
Know the whole names. I'm Mel.
I guess I get the whole name. They're gonna look me up anyway.
Are they?
I'm him.
I'm him.
But nah, so today we want to talk about divorce and dating. Whew. Yeah.
So this is a very vulnerable, topic. Even when we decided to talk about this topic, DJ was like, "I know it's vulnerable for you.
Yeah, I do know it's vulnerable for you.
I know it's vulnerable for you."
Yeah, it's vulnerable for me as well. I think that because once you try marriage and it doesn't work,
Mm-hmm.
I feel that trying to date after the marriage, when you just don't know, you just don't know what you're doing. Like you went into marriage thinking that this was going to be it for you, da
Mm-hmm.
da da. You was gonna make it work, and then it doesn't work,
It
and then
doesn't
it's
work.
like, ooh,
Hit you with okie doke.
okie doke,
Life hit you with okie doke.
real quick,
All right. So let's get this thing started.
right?
I feel I feel that the gentleman should go first. So I
I
mean,
mean, that's fine with me,
we're gonna give like a little slight
right?
slight background.
Right.
Since we are both, what do you call it,
Divorcees
divorcees.
on that taxpayer, divorced. Hey, you know what? Okay, you know what I'm trying to say, right?
No, I don't know what you're trying to
What you mean?
Okay, stop. Yes.
I'm just saying. Y'all remember that movie? Well, we about to
Okay. We're gonna
my divorce.
my Oh yes I do. Yes I do. Brown sugar.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. So sorry. We just had like a whole moment there.
Yeah.
Anywho,
Yeah. That's what Rich did.
I'm gonna let you go. Just give like
Okay.
a little high level background, and I think a good question after you give like a little high level, which most people don't talk about, is after you got divorced, like how did it make you feel? Because I don't even think him and I like have talked like deep dived.
Right.
I mean I've talked about it before with certain people, yeah, like how it made me feel. But yeah, and I would definitely love to hear it from a male point of view.
Yeah. So background. I was only married for about 2 years.
Even
Yeah. I was only married for about 2 years, but we were together for about like 9. So like most of my twenties was in a relationship, off and on. We had our moments of off and on. But decided to get married in 2017. It was, and divorced. And for me, with that divorce came, and well, how we got to the divorce was just not being able to be on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
Being in places where we're young at the same time, kind of all that we kind of knew. Um, but then also we wasn't aligned. We were on different spiritual paths as well.
So important.
Yeah, along with what we and we never seen successful marriages.
Mm-hmm.
My parents are divorced. Her parents, well, the same way. I'm not gonna go into too much of her details, but she didn't get a chance to see that bond growing up. I didn't get a chance to see a true bond. A lot of that was traumatic for me, and seeing how that played out for myself and seeing what my mom went through, my father and them two together. So, I think at the end of the day, try. At least we tried, but it just
At least we tried.
at least we tried, but it just wasn't it. I think we both knew. Let's just be honest. I think we both we knew that there was red flags for both of us that we shouldn't have got married.
Them red flags, y'all.
Yeah, and I think because we had a kid together,
it seemed like, oh, let's just do it.
let's go ahead and
let's
yeah, and plus this is all we known for like the last like 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but in the separation and everything, and then the divorce part of it, you know, you gotta be like, they say you gotta be married like a year or whatever. So doing the separation part, going to the divorce, like we thought we would be cool for the most part, but it just didn't really end up like that. You know, I think in separation, I started dating. She was doing her own thing as well.
Mm-hmm.
But trying to date after divorce is totally different. But also how it made me feel. I don't think that I ever I didn't deal with it right then and there. I wasn't equipped with the tools to know how to grieve a marriage, a failed marriage. And some people look at it like, you know, it's never a failure. It's just a failure. Like that's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? It's just my opinion. But as a man, I just gotta take accountability for it. You know, I think as I've learned, is to understand that whatever has happened to me is my fault. You know, and because I'm a leader, because I you know I asked for her hand in marriage and everything like that. Granted, you know everything doesn't happen because of me, but because of my decisions, the things that I did not choose to abide by for like that God probably put there for me to see to tell me that this wasn't it. And sometimes he'll just let you go in and like, all right,
God gives you free will.
yeah, like I done told you, I showed you, but you don't want to listen to me. Go ahead.
Now the beauty, I mean, I definitely when I talk about mine, it's just because of what you just said. I do feel like the beauty that you can see, like when you become conscious of it, God gives us free will, and I always find the beauty when He gives those pathways to let you try to get realigned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I mean he'll give them to you, like to try to get yourself realigned.
Ask for him. Like, show me a sign.
Show me a sign, God.
And my man be like, here you go, and we be like, give me another one.
That's not the one I want.
Like I just need you to tell me. You tell God to like remove this person. They remove it and you bring them back in.
You right. Now my pastor, he told me not to. You know, we ask God for signs, and he told me like, just as I'm asking God for signs, the devil knows you need signs too, right?
Right.
So instead of asking for signs, like these things we can read into, you want to go by like what does the word say,
right?
In a sense, and I mean, it took me this go around to really grasp the concept of not asking for a sign, but just really honing in to like spirit,
right?
To God's word, to somebody's like actions and their behaviors. Yeah, so it's a thing. But yeah. I mean, I guess since I'm talking,
right.
I'll go ahead and dive in.
Right.
All right, so vulnerable moments. Just like DJ, like how we said, we're both divorcees. So I have been divorced twice. Now, even saying that is like, it's a lot. I'm still trying to get, actually, we say like comfortable with owning and standing in my own story. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't ask to get here this way. Of course, I wouldn't want to be divorced like twice. But I always try to look at what do I call it? Like the good side or a positive light in the journeys that I take. And again, this is my journey. So it's like, no, I would not have want to have gone through all that I've been through, but I look at it now as like that whole journey or those two relationships taught me so much about myself. It taught me so much about like other people. It brought me to the point of like, oh no, forget the words. I mean, what does your behavior look like? You know what I mean? Are you standing true to who you are? And it got me here, right?
Right.
It got me right here where I am. So I try to look at it from, like I say, like the most positive way that I can. And yeah, so like I'm not gonna dive in deep to each one, but I'll say that with my two relationships, in a nutshell, I think I said this to DJ. I said the first one in regards to getting a divorce. The first one um broke me down. It broke me down because what I had in mind at the time when I was younger, I had to let go. And it's so hard to let go of this picture that you had in mind. So, like we had a child, we got married, we got a house, we have another child. And when it did not work, what I thought it was supposed to work as, yeah, like I don't know, like it was like that shattered me.
Right.
Where that actually, in a sense, if I somebody say like, oh, when did you start your relationship with God? It was from that bad boy.
Right.
Because I really had to get my mind right. Like, all right, Mel, we're about to start over. We are about to start this journey of something you did not see technically like coming, and we're gonna put our best foot forward.
Right.
So just years ago when that happened, and I said this in a previous episode, like I'm gonna always choose to be better instead of bitter. If that means putting my big girl panties on, I'm gonna do it, because I'm not about to walk around sad. Like he said, it's a failure. In a sense, yes, it was a failure, but I'm not. But I'm not defined by my failures. Right?
Right.
We can always do better. We can always try again. We can always put in the effort. So after the first divorce, like I said, I just had to get.
And let me say, well, with it, and my apologies while you're talking, but I always tell you, like, sometimes I myself don't understand how you could be how you are after what you've been through.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I will forever say that, because that takes a level of tenacity and a level of like security with self to continue to go and build like you are and like you do. And because
why he's over here like trying to make me emo? Why are you trying to make me emo?
I'm just, you know me.
How are you?
Yeah, you're resilient, and it's one of the things I love about you. Like, you are strong, you are independent, and for you to be in this place where you even allow me to come in and um be a man, like that, because of the things that you've been through, it's easy to not want to depend on another man.
Yeah.
You know, it goes for me as a like depending on a woman at the same time, but I just had to stop you for a moment and just let you know that I think I tell you all the time, but just you are great.
Mm-hmm.
You are who you are, and I'm appreciative for that.
I appreciate you.
No problem.
Y'all see. Okay. Stop smiling at me too. Let me get my life right quick. All right. So, you were talking earlier about like your experience after divorce. So, after my first divorce, I was younger, just a little bit younger, and how DJ was talking about it being like a failure at that time. That's exactly how I felt. Like, damn, like I failed at this. I was embarrassed. You know, I had 2 kids. I remember I used to be like walking around, you know, like in public. You go to the mall, you go to the grocery store, and then would remember I would have both my daughter and my son, and I mean, I always get told like I look young, or I, you know, look younger than, and I would feel embarrassed because I wouldn't want. And this is just honest. I didn't want people to think like, oh, she got 2 kids, like she got a baby daddy. Like, I wanted somebody to know, no, like I was married to their dad. And again, this is just my truth. That's just how I felt. I remember going to church, like having to tell somebody like, oh, I've been divorced. That didn't feel good, because especially the older generation, I think they feel that the younger generation, like millennials, we just be going in and out. We give up so easy. And in my case, that's not the case. Like, I don't give up easy. Like, I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna put in the effort. And it was like, this is what you have to deal with now. And I didn't feel like it was my choice, you know?
Right.
So like I said, like after the first one, it took me a minute to be able to get comfortable with saying like I was divorced. I have 2 kids. I thought about like, gosh, is somebody gonna want to date somebody who's been divorced, who has 2 kids? And like I said, like I wasn't. I got divorced at 30. Like the first time we were.
Still fine. Go ahead.
So I got divorced at 30. And me and my first husband, we had been together since I was 16. So I never dated from high school until the age of like 29. I never knew what dating was, didn't know what it looked like. I was faithful to my ex, so I didn't do any extra stuff in college.
Dater.
All right, yeah. I didn't do any extra stuff in college or whatever. So it was different. I could
So
say.
how was the dating scene? When did you get out there afterwards?
Are you talking about then?
Yeah.
I don't know. I remember my friends telling me, it was like, Melanie, just go on dates, just get like basically like free food. And I was, why are you laughing?
The free food.
Yeah, that was like basically just get like free food or whatever the case.
Yo, women are wild.
But the thing was, like, I wasn't built like that. Like,
You definitely not.
I just couldn't. Even this time around, you know, like the recent like divorce or whatever, you know,
But you want to be outside? We already talked.
I was
about
outside. Stop it. I was not outside in the streets.
Wow.
I was outside, okay? Just for a little bit, I was outside, right?
Sidewalk. But you was outside. You was off that porch.
I was off the porch.
You was off the stoop.
I was off the stoop. Just a little bit. I was off the stoop just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's all right. I was off the stoop just a little bit,
Right.
testing the waters.
Right.
And you know what's funny is, like, my relationship with God is my own. And I always said, God knows my heart and God knows me to the core. And I felt like right before DJ came, it was on some, Melanie, let me pull you back onto the porch. Because what I don't want you to do is go outside. Because you have something special to do. And like I said, I think right before DJ is when I was like, I started feeling that, like, yeah, like I didn't feel like, I just feel like I was stepping outside of the core of me. Because I have always been in a relationship. Not that I need a relationship to define me. Right. I am just a relationship person. And there's nothing wrong with that. When people be like, oh, you know, you should date multiple people. That's not for everybody. Everybody's not built to be doing that. And that's perfectly fine. Like, right. I'm secure in knowing I am a wife.
Tell him again.
I am a wife.
Show love.
I understand, like I said, the other two didn't work, but God had me at a wife from the beginning. And yeah, like this is. I just think I needed to find whose wife I was, right?
Right.
Or whose wife
and it's
I
funny,
would be.
like so how you said like I was like, yo, we reel you back in or whatever. God let me go in the wild. Like he let me go in the wild for a moment. It wasn't like that. But
y'all ever met a garden?
Oh, you're wild. But no, so seriously though, but I'll tell anybody. Like, you know, we have these conversations all the time. So that's why I said when people don't understand like what we talk about, like, we were
talking about a whole bunch of stuff.
Right.
Like there's probably, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, there is probably nothing he has not told me. Like everything.
Yeah.
All his exes, all the people he messed with, like we've talked about it.
All of it.
It don't bother me. Like I want to.
Yeah, because you know me, I'll say like, "You sure you want?"
He will. He'll be like, "You sure?" I'll be like, "Yes."
Yeah.
And the reason why I say yes or I feel so comfortable in it is because of the security that has been created between him and I, right? So I feel secure enough to know like anything prior to me is prior to me. Right. You know, and I wanna learn it. Like I wanna hear it. I don't have to hear every little single detail, but stuff I can stomach to just know. Like, oh, okay, this is how this went. This is what you like. This is what you don't like. This is where you could be better.
Right. I mean, I think because but see, for me, I feel like because God did allow me to be outside. He allowed me to do that. Like, I was able to get a lot of stuff out of my system. Mm-hmm. But then also, now granted, I'm going to say as a man, like, I did come across some good women.
Mm-hmm.
They wasn't my women. Like, they wasn't a woman for me, but they were good women.
Right.
But because I wasn't where I needed to be, I don't know what damage I probably had did to them in that moment, you know, and it wasn't intentional or anything like that, but coming from divorce, not really taking the time to really analyze because the relationship I got into after divorce was probably one of the worst relationships I got into. A little toxic. Toxic. We may even call it a little toxic. However, but even with her, right? I'm just saying, toxic. But even with her, like, I think she had her own stuff, but at the same time, because I wasn't who I was as well, or who I should be, I added on to what was already there. And that's why I said, I got to take responsibility and accountability for my own actions that went to that. To other ones that I've dated.
Yeah, I mean, I could say the exact same thing. Like with both relationships that I was in, as you just said, like we have to take accountability for our actions. So same thing goes for me. No, I don't feel like I was treated the best, but in retrospect, and I, having conversations with both of them, in retrospect, what I have to take accountability for, and where we got, how we got. Like, for my first marriage, I was not the best wife. Like, I wasn't. So just like you said, I don't feel like I saw the best example of what a healthy marriage relationship is supposed to look like. I didn't know what I was doing. He didn't know what he was doing. Right. We were just going with the flow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what this is supposed to look like? Okay, sure. You have a baby. You're supposed to buy a house. You supposed to have more babies. Y'all supposed to try to get money. Bet. We can do that. We can try.
Right.
It didn't go.
Not that it
didn't go too well. Right? It didn't go too well. It didn't go well. So I count my first one. But we were just young. Like I said, we had been together since 16.
Right.
And
so then going into your second marriage and everything. Like, how was that experience from dating, dating from 16, divorcing, and then trying to date a little bit, and then get into another marriage? Like, and then how long between those two did it happen?
um. So I would probably say to my younger self, like just like 5 years ago, my younger self. Right, I'm 35. I would probably say to my younger self, slow down. Slow down, not in the aspect of time, because to me, and we talk about this, I don't think it's a matter of time. I think it's a matter of alignment and maturity. And I think I would have told myself to slow down because I didn't, in a sense, like I didn't fully know myself as much as I know myself now. Right? Things we gone through, you talk about like my resilience and all that stuff like that. Like there are some things I've gone through you couldn't even told me that I was about to go through it and that I was gonna get out on the other side of it.
Right.
But I would say the time period between like those two, I wish I would have just slowed down and taken my time to really do something that I had never done before, and that's like really having relationships, making sure people's words and behaviors matched, right?
Right.
And just as you said, which I think most women, what we tend to do is we see red flags, and what we try to do with those red flags is kind of turn them into saying, oh, maybe they could be green. Right. We'll try, from a woman's perspective, we try to work with potential. Right. We will, and especially like if you're a woman, like a visionary, like I feel like I can always try to pull the best out and see the best in people. Right. We tend to want more for the person than they might be ready for themselves. Now, I'll always, and I have always had like this go-getter mentality, right? Like, because I feel that God, placed it up there. Like the man that I knew that I would end up with is gonna do great things, and I'm gonna be attached to it because we have things to do for the kingdom of God. Period.
You know your project. Go ahead.
Nah, but yeah, I just think the time period between I was trying not to fail, or I was trying to win or correct something that I didn't do in the first one. Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense because I think even though I got into a relationship afterwards, I think I felt so much of a failure in the marriage that I tried to be even better in a relationship.
Yeah.
Which I never got out of husband mode. So I went into a regular relationship in husband mode with expectation. And because I did it like that, I think that backfired on me as well, because I'm putting someone else in a role that they have not even qualified for. And it puts me in a place where I now, since I'm doing that, now I'm staying in something longer than I probably should because this one was a failure. And so I don't want to be a failure again.
Yeah.
So
I
now
didn't think about it I didn't think about it like that.
So now I'm putting up with stuff that I normally wouldn't put up with. I'm bypassing stuff that I normally would, because maybe if I would have did this in the marriage, maybe we wouldn't have got like, so I'm gonna do it like this here. I'm gonna try to work through this, work through that.
Yeah.
When some things wasn't for me to work through, it was for me to let go. And
work on and let go and move on.
Exactly.
Yeah, I definitely would. I would agree. I don't know. That just made me think of another aspect of the whole divorce, then dating, and then getting into another relationship. I had mentioned this in a previous episode. I think it was our very first episode. And I was saying, like, prior to you, how I just wanted to be outside, not literally, but physically outside.
You want to make sure you say not literally outside.
Well, it was, I explained how this was the first time that I was going to be able to not have to make decisions or
be
thinking
responsible for somebody else's feelings.
Yes, and I think I literally fell right back into feeling the need to try to be responsible for somebody. Mm-hmm. And it was like, girl, you already got 2 kids that you're responsible for. Why are you trying to be responsible for somebody else?
Right. And this is, you're talking about after your first marriage.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. Yeah. The taking my time part, not the length of knowing, just taking time for me. Right. And I wouldn't even say like taking time to heal. I am set up a little different.
How different, man? How different?
I'm set up a little different. I don't know if to my Aries people out there, right? Once we are good on something, I don't know. I know it's not all Aries, right? I'm just talking about a sign. But the way that I'm set up, once I'm good on something, I'm good, and I can move along. I go to therapy. I can talk through it. Nobody I've been in relation with, I've never put any ill will towards them. I want them to be great and prosper. I want them to be happy.
I can't say I started off like
as
that.
Well. But that's how
I eventually got there.
Yeah, but that's how I genuinely feel like just because me and that person didn't work out, I want to be happy. I want them to be happy too. Yeah. But again, that's just me. Right. That's just how I work. Because at the end of the day, I'm gonna be blessed regardless.
That's a fact.
Blessed and highly favored, yes. And I stand firmly in knowing that. So there's no need for me to.
That's what I said. I respect you. I respect you. That wasn't, you know me. I was like, in the beginning, I'm good now. I'm a changed man.
Thank you, Lord.
But at first, wish well. Wish down a well. But you know,
we all grow.
You grow and you live and you learn.
You live and you learn, right?
You know, and everything comes together. You're like, you know what? You're right, man. I hope they good though. That's it. When a good Lord hits you, you're like, you know what? You're right, Lord. We straight.
We straight, Lord.
Yeah.
But yeah, now let's say kind of just bringing it a little full circle. So DJ is the first person that I have been with or dated who has been divorced. DJ has kids as well. Right. That was another thing. So after my last divorce, just because I added an additional child, I definitely, felt like, gosh, it's not funny. I didn't know how to feel at first. Now my friends, I appreciate all my friends because my friends would be like, Mel, one friend in particular, Mel, you are the prize. She still hyped me up. I mean, all my friends do. And I had to remind myself as well, yeah. I'm going to stand boldly and say, I do have 2 marriages that did not work. I do have 3 beautiful children. And I'm still that different.
Still fine.
I ain't even talking about fine. I still have a lot to bring to the table. So prior to meeting DJ, I was like, Melanie, you still it. Mm-hmm. You got a lot to bring to the table.
Top photographer.
I am not a liability. I'm an asset.
That's it.
Period. Right?
That's it. Growth.
So I just, after this one, I was like, let me move like I'm supposed to move. And whenever God sees fit, when I'm supposed to date, it'll come. It'll flow. I appreciate any not full-blown relationship, But anyone I've met along the way, like prior to DJ, I just appreciate my journey because, like I said, it got me here. It opened my eyes to things that the younger Melanie would never have
Agreed.
thought of. Like,
I mean, that's what experience is for.
right?
Like, and I said, like, even though I know I wasn't where I needed to be, I am still thankful. Even those ones I wish down the well, I am still thankful for those, for those, for those relationships, because, like, again, it did help me see myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know, and then let's be honest. I was honest. I'm very honest and upfront about it. Like, I've been called a narcissist. I've been da da da. I've been the, you know what I'm saying, garden tool. All these other things. You know.
Ain't nobody call you no garden tool with me.
Yeah. You know, I mean, the actual word has been used.
Okay. I mean, garden tool is way better, but
yeah. But you know, and even when I'm not doing these things, you know what I'm saying. But at the same time, it still made me analyze myself to what am I giving off to do this? Like, you know, why doesn't someone feel secure and certain with me? You know, so it put me in a place where I was moving this way, and even though if I wasn't doing anything, because I was moving this way, it made look or feel that I'm doing something wrong. So you know what?
My man be covering all his ends now. I'm like, babe, you don't have to.
All right, bro. Look, I don't want.
I'm like, you don't have to do X, Y, and Z. He just be like, I'm just making sure. But it's one of those things. Because he don't have to, but it does bring like even a little bit more.
Right. Because also I know what you've been through. So.
And you said that he says that all the
time. Yeah, like
he just wants to make sure that I'm good.
Yeah, and because if you ain't good, we ain't good, and if we ain't good, I don't like it.
I feel you.
Yeah. So you know, and I want to be good. You know, I want. Like we said, we have children that's in the mix, and because of that, I do want our children to be able to see healthy love, healthy conversation, healthy building. You know, so because I want to have that and want them to see that, like I try a little extra harder to make sure I'm not being like old versions of me, and I try to make sure that I'm giving you.
That was good.
Well, you know, I try to make sure I'm giving you not only what you want, but
the best
and what you need.
That's how I feel. So like we always have conversations. We had one earlier, in the car.
Yeah.
And it's like I want to give you the best version of me. Right. And those unhealthy behaviors or those patterns in the previous ones, you know, like I can see them now.
Right.
And the big difference is you're patient enough to like where we can work on them, through them.
Right. Like
you mirror it to me to like help me see like, you know, Mel, do you see what you're giving off, the vibe you're giving off? And that makes me want to be like, okay, you're right. Like,
right.
I don't want to come off as bossy or controlling. Granted, there are reasons how this could be a whole nother topic about how women, independent women, become independent and have to become the lead. Not that they want to, because I said this from jump with him. I don't want to be the leader. I don't want to lead a household. That's not what I signed up for. But that's what I had to do because of my journey and my situations. So now in this dynamic, you know, that you and I have, I'm learning like, okay, I can sit back and like step into the position, right? The position what I was like made for, yes. And I can flourish in it, like effortlessly flourish in this being of myself. You know what I mean? Which I've never been, and it's no shade, no knock to anything prior to you. It's just the space, the alignment, the God in between us that allows for this beautiful thing to happen, and I appreciate it.
Me too. Very, very, very beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So, but yeah, and so I think like when it comes down to it, and I think what we both have said in this episode, is just like even though these things can be called as failures, the divorce part is so much more to it to be taken from it and to be able to work through it so that we can get to this other side
Gracefully.
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 You know? And
I want that. I want that for people too. Like people
yeah.
who do go through something, not even just divorce, but just to be able to go through like life situations with grace.
It's tough. It's definitely
not
tough. It's definitely tough. But with a little bit of discipline,
hmm
you know, like I said, a little bit of grace.
Get y'all a good support system.
Right.
Like my friends who've been around, the friends who were there for both of them bad boys. Yeah. They know, but I appreciate them for just like holding me and anchoring me and reminding me of like who I am, you know?
Right. And same. I had a great support system.
Yeah.
You know, I had a great support system. I have a great support system.
Right.
You know, and to this
We
day,
have a great support system.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And then I'm very thankful for my support system because they've been. And crazy part, most of my support system has been here since from basically middle school for the most part, except for like one or whatever. But middle school and high school for the most part. But
So they seen the growth.
yeah, they seen the growth.
The growth.
Ooh, they seen the growth. Ooh, won't he do it?
Won't he do it?
You feel me? But no, but I mean, yeah, I think that's.
And I mean, from this episode, I definitely hope, you know, somebody who has been divorced or had a relationship, they don't, you know, maybe not, y'all didn't get like married or something, but it was like something long term, just to know, stay true to yourself.
Right.
Stay grounded in self. Like I said, that support system is key. But know you can. I'm not saying like for him and I, right.
But knowing that your person is out there, you know what I'm saying? Knowing that if you lean into God, God will lean into you. And if you write it down, you ask for it, and you pray, meditate, and you're disciplined to get to that factor and listening to what God puts on your heart
be
and
obedient.
Be obedient.
Be obedient
to what He has for you. It will come.
It will.
You know, and don't settle.
Don't settle.
Don't settle.
Don't settle. Those red flags are red flags for a reason.
Exactly.
Be obedient and pay attention to them.
Exactly. And you gotta be in alignment with yourself.
Yeah, you really do.
Before you be in alignment with somebody else.
You really do. And you know, we didn't touch on this like at the very beginning, but just kind of like wrapping this up. And people have said this before. They say like divorce isn't worse than death, but divorce is kind of like a death, just because like how you said, the grieving process. Right. The difference with divorce is majority of the time these people are still around. If y'all share kids, like y'all have to learn how to function outside of the picture, what y'all had or what you created, and it's not always easy. Everybody's personality isn't always easy, but co-parenting can be a beast as well. I know we'll have an episode about co-parenting too at some point, and about the kids, but yeah,
I think it's a lot. It's just a lot to learn, and which is a lot to take away. And so
yeah, just stay positive.
Stay positive.
It'll happen when it's supposed to happen. You don't think that will happen.
Oh boy, it won't. It will. But thank y'all for again tuning in to another episode of Me Think PodKast. You feel me? Follow us on all social media. Let Me Think PodKast. Podcast with a K, not a C. And let us know. Comment, subscribe, and let us know what you all think about it. And if you all have any questions or thoughts as well, please inbox us.
Yeah, I was gonna say y'all can definitely inbox us. If you had questions, we'll respond. Most definitely, we love a good convo.
Yeah.
As you can see, we like to talk.
Yeah, we do. We do.
We like to talk.
Even when life be lifing.
Life be lifing. They do.
But we definitely plan to again stay consistent. Mm-hmm. So we out.
Later.
Peace. That was good. About 45 minutes or so.